And I say we like keep it to like 50 minutes or so.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
keep an eye on the time. Oh, and he actually is subbing in the league this weekend
Who is subbing?
for MLP Champion Series.
Oh, Dave
Dave,
Fleming is?
Dave Fleming. Yeah,
I
he's
didn't even,
subbing for.
I did not know he played.
Yeah, yeah, he does. That's how he started.
Huh.
He played
Okay.
pickleball. Yeah.
Interesting.
All
All right.
right. Here we go. Welcome back, everyone. Oh my God, I feel
Yay,
like it's
we're
been
back. We're
so
back.
long. It's been a while, Neely. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It was tough to be away from you from this podcast for a month, but we're back and we're ready to go.
Yeah, we're ready.
Well,
I feel like
we did have a
invigorated a little
guest
bit.
planned.
Huh?
We did have a guest planned, but they canceled.
Yeah, that
So,
happens.
yeah, I mean, should I tease who it is? I'm not going to say the name, but I'll give a hint.
Sure.
Okay. I
We'll
like to
reschedule.
call him the Chris Farley of pickleball.
Oh,
Dun dun dun. Do you think that gave it away?
maybe.
Yeah, we were excited to have this person on, but they had to cancel last minute. But they're really excited to be on the podcast, and they are. We're going to reschedule with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. So I just want to say too, before we go into our topics, is that this break was really good for me, and it always is. I know that every time we've had a break, uh, it's felt really good just for me to have space, especially in the summertime, because we did this last year too.
Yes.
How did it feel for you?
Yeah, no, it felt good. People don't necessarily understand what goes into recording a podcast like
Yeah.
ours, especially because we have a lot of guests. There is a lot of preparation. There's a lot of
Hmm.
coordination with, scheduling, and we're constantly meeting and talking about how to get better and how to improve, and um, then obviously the interviews are can feel like a lot, because you have to
Yeah.
do research and you have to be prepared with questions and you have to, know the person a little bit before they get. So there's a lot that goes into it. And so we do it every other Tuesday. Some podcasts are every week, some podcasts are daily. I don't know how those people do it.
I
Um,
know.
but long story short, it was nice to sort of have that break and to just be able to like breathe a little bit.
Yes.
But obviously as the month flew by and now I was sort of like, oh, I'm missing our podcast, so I'm ready to be back.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And that's a good feeling too. I
Yeah.
like that we intentionally take a break. I think it's a good reminder for me and a good reminder to share for everyone listening. Breaks are not bad.
No,
They
breaks are.
really are helpful.
Yeah, and it allows you, I think, to come back with fresh eyes, and maybe you've had some time we both had some time to think about kind of what works, what doesn't work, and we're
Yeah,
meeting next week to do like a debrief, like a big brain dump.
yeah,
And I think over the last month, I've gotten, I have a lot of thoughts on, what I want to do with the podcast and where I want to go, and obviously there's two people involved. So what do you want to do with the podcast? Where do you want to go? And then how do we
yeah,
bring those two visions together?
yeah, yeah. That's the
That
key.
is it.
All right. So, in recent pickle news, if you've been on social media, you've probably seen or heard about the bucket hat debate. I should have had the quote from Connor Pardoe up at the ready, but I don't. But I believe that if you need to listen to what he said because he put out a statement, and that statement got picked up, and then it kind of blew up.
And Tosh, I should
Um,
say for all of the
and
Tosh, I should say for all of the listeners, they don't see your beautiful face and your beautiful bucket hat that you are
Oh,
wearing right now. You look a little bit like somebody from Run DMC, because they also had those glasses like the ones you're wearing.
yeah.
But you look very cute. So I just, we also are on YouTube for anybody who wants to see Natasha's beautiful face and bucket hat.
Yeah, great. Thanks for pointing that out, Neely. I kind of felt like as soon as I put the bucket hat on, I felt like I looked like Zane Navratil because I saw him put it on.
True. You do a little.
But I feel like, yeah, so if you want to hear what Connor had to say about bucket hats, I think he was watching the MLP and then he just put out a statement and then the statement just caught fire. And you probably heard from Zane or from Pickleball Nikki or someone else about talking about this bucket hat controversy. But I think I have a little bit of a different take because I want to talk about like the bigger picture rather than just the hat itself.
Yeah.
So my talking points are like, why did something such so simple as a bucket hat become such a heated topic?
Okay, well, can you explain? Because I've seen people talking about bucket hats, but I don't really understand what's the controversy. Maybe I didn't follow it closely enough.
Okay, so it was basically, this is totally just my words. I will try and look it up too at the same time. Connors put out a statement saying like basically that the bucket hats don't look professional out on the court,
Oh.
and so they should be banned.
Banned?
Yeah. That's why because Zane wears a bucket hat, and
Oh,
so that's
see,
why he kind of
I thought it was just a thing about like people look dumb or like it just doesn't look,
no.
like it just looks silly or it's a bad, bad fashion faux pas. I didn't realize that somebody's suggesting
So
they
so
ban hats.
so here it is. I'm on Connor Pardoe's Instagram page, and it's from the Dink, and it says picture of Connor on his Instagram page with the title "Pickleball should ban bucket hats." In quotes, PPA Tour Commissioner Connor Pardoe is coming for your bucket hats. Um, So yeah, that's kind of what like picked up all of the interest because I've seen Zayn before wearing a bucket hat. Like I think more recently he was like at the US, not the US Open, at a baseball game for his MLP team to throw at a baseballer with his team. And anyways, but my point is that why something so simple as a bucket hat? Why did that become such a heated topic? And I know there's the debate about it does not look professional out on
Oh,
the court, right? So if you think someone's just flipping through the stations who doesn't play pickleball and they see someone wearing a pickleball hat, they're not going to take it seriously. Like, is that really a sport? Like, so it
okay.
doesn't,
Okay.
qualify pickleball as a sport, right? If
Well, so
someone was just to randomly
it
see it.
looks like what? Just like some amateur players or like old people wear bucket hats. So if you see a professional player wearing one, you can't take it seriously.
Basically, I think that's not what I believe, but that's what I've heard.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, and I don't know. I just don't. I think I feel that social media is taking every small, what do you call it, hot takes,
Yeah.
like so big. Like I
Right.
don't understand why, Connor would be sitting at home or wherever he was, relaxing, hopefully watching the MLP, what he's created or helped create and build, and then all of a sudden he just focuses on that one bucket hat. Like there's so much more greatness happening at the same time and he just focuses on that one bucket hat. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of like annoyed that he chose to focus on something so silly, or is it that you're focusing on the people's response? Like why is that? Why do they care so much if he has this insignificant opinion?
Well, my point is pretty much going at Connor
Going
because
at Connor,
I
yeah, okay.
don't, yeah, I don't see what the
I
big
mean,
deal is about the bucket hat. But then also like is 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 it maybe starting at the top? Is he taking pickleball too serious?
hmm,
And is that, coming top down? If
interesting.
he's so
Well,
focused on a bucket hat,
and
is my point.
that's actually a topic that you want to talk about later on is pickleball becoming too serious, which we'll get to. But I I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, listen, people sound off about a million different things. So
Yeah.
let them and it just, it becomes fodder for conversation and laughs and memes and
Hmm.
I don't really care. I'm not as miffed at him for bringing up the conversation, but I actually want to think about other things we could ban instead of the bucket hat. Like there's got to be more annoying things that pickleball players wear or
Oh,
do that I want to ban? Can you think of any off the bat?
oh my God, totally. Like, the older gentleman wearing like a tight t-shirt that says like dink this or like, silly things
I
like
got one. I would like to ban women and men from dousing themselves in perfume and cologne when on the pickleball court.
really?
Yes, I once played with a woman who I could smell it from ever since I had kids, I've got like super, super smell. I can smell a fire 5 miles down the road. And so this was, I think you were playing with us, and I was so overpowered by the smell. I couldn't think straight. So I would like to ban that. I would
Hmm.
like to ban, yeah, I guess guys in muscle tees that say "dink this." I could be up for a
Yeah.
ban on that. What else? Trying to think. If the listeners or viewers have anything else funny that they'd like to ban from pickleball, please let us know.
I mean, I would say the people dancing in the crowds, but like I'm not going to be a dancer in the crowd, so
Dancing in
that's
the
the only
crowd.
reason why I'd say to ban.
I feel like
Because
that adds the
they
whole
get down. They get
what?
down.
They what? They do get to. I feel like that adds to the whole camaraderie and
Yeah.
so I
Personality.
wouldn't want to ban that. Um, what about those like annoying strips that people have all over their body? What the hell do those things do? Can we ban
Oh,
those?
the KT tape.
Yeah, do they really do anything?
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
what else? What else? I'm trying to think of my pickleball icks. When it comes to things. Well, I can think of a million things that people do that I would want to ban. I want to ban
Yeah.
somebody who serves really quickly before I'm ready. Could people
Yeah.
please stop doing that? I can't stand it.
Well, let me go into this a little bit further too, because so Connor Pardoe put out that statement, pickleball should ban bucket hats, quote, end quote.
Mm,
And then uh Zane Avertil responded on his Instagram, WTF, does this clown know about pickleball? Question mark. And then Connor Pardoe responded, once the clown emoji, always a clown emoji, because he was a New Jersey Fives
yeah,
last year.
yeah,
But take it how you want to take it. And then Matt Manassi also chimed in. Joey is dope. That's the guy who was wearing the bucket hat on MLP.
okay.
But a bucket hat can't be used in pro sports. I'll die on that hill, is what he says.
Really? Wow. Geez,
So,
people really do have
yeah.
strong opinions on this.
I mean, I have a strong opinion against it too. I just don't know where the heck his Connor Pardoe statement came from.
Okay, what about a
Bragging on a,
visor? A visor, can a baseball cap, can they wear any sort of
yeah,
thing on their dome, but no bucket hat? Is that, but
no,
can,
just it's specific to a bucket hat. Yeah.
oh, it's funny. I don't know. The whole thing's funny to me.
Well, but then that's the question that comes to me. Like, is pickleball taking itself too seriously,
Right.
wanting to be somewhere else other than where it's at? Because where's the line between looking professional and showing personality? And
Yeah.
who's in charge? Is someone really in charge of that?
Right.
Like,
Right.
is the higher up, the highest up in charge of what I wear on the court?
Well, right. I mean, why not ban, those, why not ban Jill Braverman from wearing one long
Yeah,
sleeve on one leg and one, little short
yeah,
on the other? Why not ban Ben Johns from wearing I don't know, the compression sleeves and leg sleeves and arm sleeves underneath all of his other clothes.
yeah,
I mean, that looks a little sloppy sometimes, maybe. I mean, I don't care, but maybe some people think it looks
yeah.
ridiculous. So it's kind of like, why the bucket hat?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
is it about the bucket hat?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's my question. So,
Hmm.
Connor,
All
please
right.
respond.
Okay, Connor, let us know. All right, other news. Okay, this is a fun pickleball. Well, not a fun pickleball story, but I guess kind of funny. So now it is obviously well established, Tosh, that you love pickleball, that I love pickleball. We
Mhm.
started a pickleball podcast. I have a pickleball company. I am a competitive player. We're addicted to this. So it's easy for me and you to say this is such a great sport and go on and on and on. What's wrong with all these old fogies who don't like the noise of pickleball, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a story. I mean, this happens all over the country, right? But there's a story from Mashpee, Massachusetts, which uh, I have a lot of memories of growing up. My grandparents had a house there, and I went there all the time, and I love it there. It's a beautiful, beautiful place on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Um, but I am trying to put myself in the shoes of someone who does not love pickleball, okay?
Okay.
Or just doesn't like it or doesn't play it, you know. And I'll use a dog analogy here, okay? Because I like a good analogy. Dog owners, and you're a dog owner, Tosh, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong here, but dog
Okay.
owners think of their dogs as part of the family, right?
Completely.
Yeah, so I get it. I understand. Like you're always posting pictures. You love your
Yeah.
dog, like he's your fourth kid. Okay,
Yeah.
the greatest thing on earth. So when someone comes walking along in a park or maybe in a neighborhood and encounters a dog, or maybe you go into a house where there is a dog, and this particular someone, may not love dogs or is maybe a little skittish around dogs, and the dog owner lets the dog jump up on them, slobber on them, sniff their crotch, make a wet spot where their crotch
Yeah.
is with their nose, so it looks like you've peed down there. Uh, I w Not everyone loves dogs, right? Not everyone loves your dog jumping and slobbering and sniffing all over you. Okay, so
I get it.
I get it to the dog owner. It's not a big deal because they love and live for their dog. All right.
Hmm.
So I would like to equate this to pickleball. We are addicted to pickleball. We love it. We live for it. But not everyone else is like that. And if I was in that category, I think the constant noise of the clunk, 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 clunk all day long from sun up to sundown would probably piss me off too. What do you think? Because there's this town, Mashpee, is making the headlines. Um, and I'll just read a little bit from this article here. Pickleball is causing a pickle in one Cape Cod town. Um, it's an ongoing battle that has a new twist in Mashpee, Massachusetts. Following numerous noise complaints, the town is requiring players to use a new noise-reducing ball that is far more expensive than a regular ball. So, as you know, pickleball's what? You can get a three-pack for like $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
sure.
so these balls, this new 3D balls, it's printed from a company called NetX, and
Huh.
the ball is quiet. Yes, it doesn't make a sound, but it has significantly less bounce, and it costs $50 a ball.
Oh my
So
goodness.
people, first of all, anybody who's living in Mashpee probably, I think they probably have enough money to buy a $50 ball. I mean, I get it. It's not cheap, but I think the main problem for the pickleball players is that it has significantly less bounce. And there's a woman quoted here in the article who says it's like oh no, sorry, it's a man, Paul Key. It's like a sponge. It's garbage. Um, if we have to use this ball and get used to this, we'll be at a real disadvantage to play other places, said Jackie Ferguson, who plays pickleball year round. Ferguson and her friends brought the ball out to test it and struggled to find consistency. Um, but the people in Mashpee, and I guess Mashpee residents get a 20% discount off the ball if you go onto the
Oh,
town
how nice.
website.
So
And they've been
thoughtful.
doing a lot of things on the courts to dampen the sound. So they put noise dampening tarps around the sides. They planted vegetation to drown out some of the noise. Um, Proponents of the change call the new ball a compromise. Uh, with one neighbor speaking up at a town meeting, changing the ball didn't change the times. It did not change anything about the pickleball park. It just changed the ball, said the neighbor before the board. Adding later, I think this is going to be a great thing. I don't think the ball is too expensive, as laughs came from the crowd at the meeting. Keep laughing, he said, but I bet every person who is laughing has spent more than that at a Dunkin' Donuts in a matter of a week, which is probably true.
Oh,
Um,
totally true, but they're two totally different things. I'd rather my iced tea from Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks and spend money there than having to buy one ball for $50.
well, right. I mean, I guess I could
And
like
it's the
deal.
principle too,
I
like just
could
because you
deal with
tell
the
me I have to buy it,
price.
I don't want to buy it.
Right. I know. I hear you. I could deal with the price. even though it is expensive. But if the ball, it doesn't really act like every other pickleball
Right,
on the market, that's where I would have a problem as a pickleball player.
right,
Especially if, somebody who plays year round or plays competitively, that
right,
does put them at a real disadvantage. But
right.
like I am, again, to my point, I'm trying to put myself in another person's shoes. If you
Hmm.
didn't love pickleball and had to listen to that sound right outside your house all day long, I mean, wouldn't you go insane?
Yeah, back to your original question. I don't think I would be happy, but honestly, I don't like the sound of lawnmowers and landscapers around outside when I have my windows up. That annoys me.
Okay.
Um,
So let's say leaf blowers, because
so
I hate those things too. Let's say there
yeah,
was a leaf blower going on,
I would
outside
be
your
annoyed
house.
because I think they're in the same bucket for me. Ha, bucket.
Bucket, no
Let's
pun
see how many
intended.
times I can say the word bucket. Um, I think they're in the same bucket for me. So I would be annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
If
I get it.
especially if I didn't play and if I
I,
didn't care for the sport.
exactly, exactly. So
Yeah.
I get it. And I think this is just another reason why. Well, first of all, if you're going to build pickleball courts or an outdoor facility, you got to keep it a certain distance away from homes where the sound isn't
Mm,
obnoxious, right?
mm.
Or like this is why, indoor pickleball courts. Tennis, the ball doesn't make a sound, right?
But were they already existing courts or were they brand new courts that they laid out? Because I could see that happening. That happened in Wellesley. There's a like a condo area right next to what used to be tennis courts that they converted to pickleball courts. So of course it's going to be a controversy. But it would have probably been voted down if they were original or if they were trying to get permit for original just pickleball courts. You know what I mean?
That I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know the actual courts in question.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a good reason for a lot of towns or a lot of people who are going to create pickleball courts to really think about
Mm,
where you're building them, and obviously towns have to consider this, or consider indoor clubs because it takes away a lot of the issues. It takes away noise. It takes away inclement weather. It takes away dealing with 90-degree humidity and sun and beating down on you. So I don't know. I keep saying the future of pickleball is indoors, but
yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and
All
there
right.
was a town next door to me that has outdoor pickleball courts, and they tried to put the barriers around,
Oh.
but then oh my God, in the summer you're like suffocating in there because there's no wind going through the fences.
Oh yeah, right.
I don't
Okay.
know what they've done. I haven't played there in a couple years or so, but yeah, each town has definitely has their it was right next to a school, so I don't think there were houses near there, but every town has their dilemma with,
Right.
you know, building the pickleball courts, the controversial pickleball courts.
Totally. Every town's experiencing it, including mine.
Yeah.
All right,
All
Tosh,
right.
what's on
So
your
I
agenda now?
want to talk about I think would be an interesting debate. And the question I'm proposing is, can pickleball continue to grow professionally without losing what made everyone fall in love with it? And that came to mind when after I watched three pickleball documentaries, The Power of Pickleball, Breaking Pickleball, and then I think it was maybe like 8 months ago when it debuted, but Partners. So those
Okay.
three um, pickleball documentaries came out, and I started to think about like what is the storyline of pickleball through those movies. So the first one, I think, the which was The Power of Pickleball, talks about the sport from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and it explains, where it all started, who started it, who helped it, and who helped build it, and what it was like, the foundation of pickleball and where it came from, the roots.
Yeah.
And then you move to the second phase, which was breaking pickleball.
Hmm.
and where that celebrates the community. And you see an evolution of like it went away a little bit from um no, sorry, that's the opposite. Breaking pickleball, I think, was the one about the community. The second one, power pickleball, was more about the business of pickleball. And then the
Okay.
third one was partners, which talks
Partners.
about the stars of pickleball, like
Yeah.
all the partners, ships and partners in the whole storyline of pickleball.
Right.
Um, so it's just interesting to see it from an outside perspective because we're involved in pickleball in different ways. And though, we're seeing it kind of like grow and move at its own pace, but it's almost like pickleball has it's gone into just it's the business of pickleball now, you know? It has gotten far away, I feel, in a very short amount of time from the real community of pickleball, and the connection of pickleball, and that little spark that, probably started a lot of us to start playing and fall in love with pickleball at our infancy in the sport. Other things happened after that, but
Yeah.
um, so I just find it interesting to see where pickleball is going. And then this kind of ties into the bucket hats because then I just see the absurdity of just the statement, especially of him of all people to
Right.
say, to be so like pinpointing and like ticked off or, just why making it such a big point about bucket hats, you
Right.
know?
Right. Right.
I think pickleball has a lot other big things that they need to focus on, um, especially with such a rapid rate of growth.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
curious, like what other sport, other sports out there,
mm,
do they have a similar story? Obviously, pickleball is the fastest growing, or was, or maybe still is the fastest growing
yeah.
sport in America. So it's different probably than things like squash and badminton or other, ping pong or other racket paddles or what's there's padel and then there's paddle tennis. So I'd be interested to know like what the inner worlds of some of those other racket sports are like. And because I'm sure every sport has its universe, has its world where it
Yep.
starts as something small and grows and grows and grows. And maybe some of those sports hasn't gotten to the level of pickleball. So I don't really know. I think because pickleball is so popular and so addictive, there's gonna be like a natural evolution of what it becomes, right? It's going to become uber competitive and it's a business now, it's not just
Mm,
about community and people getting out in the rec courts and having a fun time. There's a real business side to it now and people investing millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars into the sport. So it's not, I feel like it's like not something you can stop. Um, so I don't know if there are ways to you know, keep to remind the people at the top that like,
mm,
how it started and let's be sure not to lose sight of the important things. But
hmm
I don't really know if like there's too much you and I or anyone can do to like stop the evolution of it. It just
Well,
might become serious and that's that.
yeah. I mean, I understand that people want it. They want to watch it, want to be there, want to see it, want to learn more because I'm one of those too. But I don't know. I don't want to say that there has to be some kind of balance, but there has to be some kind of balance. And I did a little research too. So most sports take decades to build a mass audience, where pickleball has compressed that into about 10 years
Yeah,
of time, you
right,
know?
right.
So I also understand, understandably, within a short period of time, there's going to be bigger kinks to have to work out, right?
Yeah,
Rather than having this like kind of go on for a longer period of time.
right.
But the closest, even outside of paddle sports or racket sports,
Yeah.
there's Formula One.
Mm,
There's golf, there's tennis, there's I intimately thought about lacrosse because my son plays lacrosse, and that is not the same trajectory in popularity, but also a sport that has been growing and has, higher ups trying to build it. And they just got into the Olympics, and they've done big changes with their professional league lacrosse for men and women.
Hmm.
So there's also lacrosse, there's rock climbing, there's cycling. Um, so most sports become popular because people are interested in them and they want to watch them on TV.
Yeah.
Um, so very few sports have reached millions of participation before they've had millions of viewers,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I don't know.
I think it's well, listen, the business people who want to invest hundreds of millions of sorry, of dollars
Yeah.
into this sport, we got to let them do what they're going to do. I think it's up to like the amateur players like us and, thousands of others like us
Mm,
to keep the joy, keep, like pickleball Nikki would say. She's got like the pickleball joy pledge and stuff like
hmm.
that. It's going to be up to people like us to keep the joy of the sport in the
The
sport. Do you
grassroots
know
of the
what I
sport.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think like we're going to be responsible for that. And then we let the pros and that whole pro thing do what
Mm.
they're going to do, business people are
Because it
going
is
to
a whole nother beast.
it's because it's a whole other beast. So I don't think
Yeah,
we
because
can
that
be
does come down to the bottom line.
right. And
And
I
the
don't think
bottom
we
line is all in dollar signs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Not
and I
not
don't think,
hating not hating it, but that's just what it is, right?
yeah, and I don't think we can, tell them to like
Right.
be less serious. They're just going to do what they're going to do,
Yeah.
and let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
And then it's like all of the amateurs and the rec people, it's up to us to remind one another what pickleball is about and the joy of it, and it doesn't always have to be so serious. The one thing that I would um, be kind of bummed out about is like right now the access that
Hmm.
the amateurs like you and I have to the top level pros. I hope
Hmm.
that never goes away. When I played squash for many years, that was one of the cool things about squash is that you got to meet and play with and play against all of like the best pros in the world. They would travel all over and they'd come and give clinics and you get to play with them and meet with them and hobnob and talk with them and they were just all so down to earth and for us like we had Anna Bright on our podcast, we've had multiple
Hmm.
top pros on our podcast, and I would hate to see that aspect of pickleball be lost, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, the access is what makes it intimate and makes it feel more simple
Yes.
at times. In a
So,
sense of like that this is still our little community.
right.
When it's like when Ben Johns just walks by you and with his paddles and his bag and he's carrying his own stuff. He
Right.
doesn't
And
have
you're
like a
like,
whole
can we get a
entourage.
picture? And, like they take pictures with everyone and
Right.
they're willing to stop and chat or, I mean, maybe not always. They obviously have a lot of things going on, but like, yeah, I would hate to see that go. In
Hmm.
tennis, it's obviously very different.
Yeah.
But yes, if Connor Pardoe and the big wigs, business people listening, you do you, go do your thing, but please make sure that the top players, the professional players, are always focused on somehow giving back to the community or somehow giving access to the community to the people who do want to interact and give high fives and have them sign autographs. That I think would be a shame if the like pro players get on their high horses and like are too big for the little people. That I think would be a
Mm.
shame if it ever becomes that.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
All right. Well, it's a good topic. But moving along, I have a couple other things to chat about as we were gathering things to discuss in the absence of our guest today. Uh, Tammy Emmrich was in the news
Mhm.
recently. This was probably a month ago. I saw this Instagram post. She was playing a dream breaker against, I think it was Eric Onson's. First of all, I didn't realize even that dream breakers women played against men. Um, but now I know. But anyways, the
Yeah.
post was that she was holding her own in the dream breaker. But the big thing, of course, about it was that she was 4 months pregnant.
Hmm.
And it got me to thinking because do you remember when we did that clinic with Susanna? Were you there with Susanna Barr and Dominic Catalano?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you
I'm
were
sad
there.
you don't remember that I was there.
No, I know, but this must have been a year plus ago, okay? I can't even remember what I did yesterday, for Christ's sake. So that clinic, there were 8 of us, and 4 of us were kind of arranged it that we would be on our court, and then the other
Hmm.
four arranged it that they would be on their court. And when we got to the clinic, somebody said, "Oh, like we can sort of all mingle, mix and mingle, and just combine all 8 of us." And I looked over and I saw one of the women who is one of the dearest people ever. She is so kind, so sweet, so nice. Great, great girl. But she's got like a belly out to, I don't know, she must have been 6 months pregnant at the time. And I'm thinking to myself, hell no. Hell to the no. I do not want to play against a pregnant woman because God forbid not like I would be actively trying to body bag a pregnant lady, but like sometimes you don't mean to. Sometimes you're trying to hit a certain spot. You go for a certain like the right hip or the left shoulder or whatever it is. And like God forbid you kind of mishit it a little bit and it goes like straight into the woman's belly or she gets knocked over somehow from a ball you hit, and then you're responsible for like miscarriage and like all. I'm a catastrophizer, Tosh, so I go through all the worst case scenarios in my head all the time, all day long. It's exhausting. But so like this is what was going through my head, and I was like, no, I'd rather just stick with the 4 that we originally planned. All right. So then when I saw this Tammy Emmerich story, I
Yeah.
thought to myself, I mean, it's incredible. I'm get like, and you go through all the comments and they're like, this is amazing, like girl power, like this is incredible. And while I think it is amazing,
Hmm.
um, and kudos to her. And Serena Williams, I think won Wimbledon 5 months pregnant or something like that.
Hmm.
So it is an incredible feat, not something that I would have had the balls to do when I was pregnant. I basically just like walked. I didn't do anything other than like treadmill and anyways. I was curious to hear what you think, and of course, what the listeners, the viewers think about playing against a pregnant woman. Because then it's like, would you actively, I would just feel bad going hard at her, or I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was there, so I don't, interesting that I don't remember really recalling that she was pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I don't think, because I had played rec with her before when she was pregnant, and I don't remember thinking much of it. You know?
Well, it's one thing
Yeah.
when they're not, it's one thing when maybe they're 1 or 2 months pregnant. You can't see, you can't tell, you don't know.
No,
But I
you
mean,
could tell. You could
oh, you
tell.
could. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It,
I'm
it
once I see
it was
Belly.
a rec game too. It wasn't a tournament. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't, I don't know. It didn't really make much of an impression on me that I had to think about it or figure it out or,
Okay.
it didn't, yeah.
Maybe it's just my worry wart brain. I mean, it's one thing if it's like, well, this was a clinic where you want to like try your hardest and work on different shots and but it is one thing if it was like a rec game, like, okay, you're not going to go hard at the pregnant lady, fine. Like I'll work on other shots or
Yeah.
hit to, the other person more or whatever. But like in a tournament, in a PP or MLP, whatever it was, tournament with professional players, and this man is now having to play against this woman who is belly is sticking out. She's 4 or 5 months pregnant, whatever it is. I don't know. If I were the man, I would have been. I mean, singles is maybe different, because it's more baseline stuff. There's less. You're less likely to like bag someone.
Right.
But like, if it was doubles, I don't know. I would be very
I would
wary.
say for a guy playing against a pregnant female, that would be a tough position to be in. But, and also, if I were the guy, I would try to, frame it in my mind so much that she knew what she was in for. Not that I would want to throw her all over the court, but she has to take she knows what she's doing and she chose, to be here, so she is going to take care of herself.
I guess. It also goes back to the whole will men body bag women in
Uh,
general,
I
which
think they hold back a ton.
I do too.
Yeah, I think because especially seeing how like they just go at each other for fun.
Right. And
Like they could,
I heard Jay DeVilliers say that he holds back. And then I think he
yeah.
once was talking with Max Freeman and he's like, it is a very odd social dynamic there. But then other men have said like no, they're they
Yeah,
don't. But I do
depends on the
think that
player.
is something in the back of their head.
I
And
think it
so
is because I've played against males and where they could have easily crushed it, and then they see my face and they're like, "Oh no." And then they'll hit it in the net or something because they're thinking like, "Oh, I can't hit it at her." Like, you know what I
right.
mean?
So, like
Yeah.
in competitive play, I would not want to have that thought anywhere near my brain if I've got a pregnant lady across the net from me, you
Well,
know?
yeah, I mean, a guy to a girl, yeah, that would be tough. But for female
Even
to
girl to
female,
girl.
I
No,
don't think
come
it would be
on.
as
You
tough.
wouldn't think that?
No, no, I don't think so. But I definitely see it for a male to a female, especially if she's pregnant.
All
Yes,
right. I guess
hands down.
you're like a little bit more hardcore than I am. I'd be like,
Under the surface, Neely.
yeah,
I
I
hold it
guess,
in.
right. Underneath that soft exterior, you're like a cold-hearted, cold-hearted
Cold-hearted bucket
pickleball.
hat killer.
Yeah, the bucket hat killer. That's it. All right. Well, that was my next topic, but you've got something else for us.
Yeah, is this the last one?
No, then I had one more thing about MLP.
Why don't you, yeah, talk about MLP first.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there was a bit of a speaking of controversies. I with you had mentioned one with Connor Pardoe, and let me just pull my phone up because I had some things saved. Um, so there has been a heated debate across the pickleball community regarding spending disparities and financial
Mhm.
philosophies in Major League Pickleball. Tosh, have you heard a little bit about this?
No.
All right. Well, I guess the clash centers on whether the league should implement strict salary caps and minimum spending floors to ensure competitive fairness, right? So now we're
Mhm.
like in the age of equity and fairness. And so basically, what happens is I guess there are a handful of teams where the owners will spend millions of dollars and a lot of resources on their teams and they get the best players. And so the best players are sort of concentrated on like 3 to 4 to 5 top teams in the league.
Right.
Um, and I haven't really followed Major League Pickleball that closely until I took the Anna Bright boot camp, and then I like really started getting into following her. And so I'm sort of
Mhm.
following it a little bit more. And so I saw this controversy come up and wanted to talk about it. But um, so the St. Louis Shock owner, I guess his name is Ross Chaffetz. He owns the St. Louis Shock, right?
Mhm.
And so this topic came up, and he wrote on, I think, Twitter or Instagram, wherever. He said, let's be very clear regarding the facts of non-parity. Three MLP midseason tournaments, three different champions, two MLP playoff championships, two different champions. A number one seed has never won either event. In fact, both MLP champions entered the playoffs as the number three seed, blah, blah, blah. Every year, the top four MLP teams drive 85% of the attendance, viewership, social engagement, merchandise sales, and more. Having strong teams that want to invest to build the sport and league is a positive, not a drag. Let the teams who want to win and build value do so. The NBA didn't become a cultural juggernaut until the great rivalries emerged at the top, Lakers, Celtics, Bulls, Pistons. But then it became like more controversy because Richie Tuazon, who is the owner of the California Black Bears, he chimed in and was saying, Ross, see the team salaries in the NBA in the 60s. Lakers, Celtics emerged because they were good, not because they spent more. Be a man and compete on a level playing field. Winning is way more fun that way. And then Ross Chaffetz shot back, question mark, question mark, question mark. The playing field is as equal as possible. You had every opportunity to pay to be in a Premier League early, draft ALW, Ben, AB, or even trade for any player you would have liked since then. Appears your GM was more focused on his podcast. Ooh. I'm not opposed to a
Ooh.
floor cap model, but redistribution of top 20 players so every team has one is akin to socialism and will result in complete failure and dilution. Teams that invest in the league and their roster more than anyone should be entitled to the upside. So it was interesting to me because, engaged right now, our country, in a socialism versus capitalism debate. Because you see all
We
of
have
these.
been for a while, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You see all these DSA candidates, Democrats, Socialists of America,
Hmm.
Mamdani winning all the. I have no idea why people want to become Cuba and Venezuela. I don't get
Hmm.
it. Go to those countries and see what socialism did to those countries. But I'm trying not to get political here. But so it's like kind of a socialism versus capitalism debate in the MLP,
Hmm.
where do you spread the top players around so that then all teams get to sort of compete and be in the running? Or do you concentrate the best players in the, certain teams that the owners are willing to spend the money on them? So that's kind of the big debate here.
I remember, and I don't remember exactly, but I remember this happening in Major League Baseball with like the Yankees had a run, but they had a run because they had so much access to money.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it almost kind of reminds me too of just the regular PPAs of, how the teams would be stacked with Anna Lee and Ben Johns and Anna Bright and Hayden, which is still the same for MLP too. Um, I really appreciate MLP for the diversity of partnerships, you know, very different from PPA, like
Yes,
usually who they play with, because Ben Johns is playing with Jade. They never have played, I don't think, in a tournament together.
right. But like they're
Um,
still, they're
Anna Lee is
still the
playing with
top.
Noe. They're still at the top. I mean, I think that's part of the drafting, because I was also wondering and thinking that maybe like the cool thing I think with MLP is that they also have the open windows for trading. They've had a
Yes,
couple of them.
there's a lot of trades. Yeah.
And I mean, the fives, I think, made some amazing trades. I was always like, what, why are they doing that? But then I was like, in the end, like looking at their team now, I'm like, oh, that's why they did it, you
Right,
know?
right.
Um,
Well,
so,
it was interesting because Christian Alshan weighed
okay.
in on this. It was on Instagram. There was a debate going on Instagram about this. And he wrote, well, we see how well it worked when Ben Johns was on the Hogs, which I guess was a team, another team
Last year, yeah.
last year. He said, dude
LA
hated it.
Hogs, I think. California Hogs.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He said, dude hated it. I
Yeah.
would too. His drive is back now that he's in that top echelon of teams competing to win, echelon teams. Is the idea
Yeah.
we redistribute the top players so we just create multiple Ben Johns on the Hogs teams? I feel like everyone would collectively grown. Sorry, okay. I spelled it wrong. Especially those top players on the top teams that each get thrown on the bottom teams. So hopefully make everything more quote unquote even. Let the billionaires spend whatever they want. I am all for it. So yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, the thing about socialism is it reduces, it discourages ambition, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it reduces like incentive. People
Mm-hmm.
want
Mm-hmm.
to strive, they want to be ambitious, they want
Handouts, yeah.
incentives that, and so this, if you're just like putting ALW on a team that's like the worst team, and I don't know, maybe she would enjoy it. I don't know. But I mean, I can see Christian's point about Ben Johns, and like why he didn't enjoy it. And now he's
Totally. I
like,
do too.
yeah,
And it's
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and it's the Carolina Hogs. It happens in the draft, the first draft, what is your strategy? Who are you looking to have on your team? What qualities of players are you looking for? What kind of chemistry, do you want on your team? What's the style of your team? What's the culture of your team? And who are those players you think that can like carry those things out? Yeah. And so I think it's a lot of it is strategic, while I'm sure the money helps, obviously. Um,
I just think we have to
But
be
it's definitely an
careful.
interesting take, right, on pickleball.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful when we're constantly, in the name of equity and fairness and all of these buzzwords nowadays. We have to be very careful about making
Yeah.
decisions. And I actually, I was thinking too when I was listening to this whole debate, watching this debate go down. When I was playing college tennis, I played Division III, Amherst College. And we were like tops in the nation, but the New England area had a ton of really good teams. They're just programs, their coaches developed those programs over the years, and they were able to recruit great players. And so the teams were always like, there were several top teams in the nation. And so in the spring, when you had the NCAA season, right, the big NCAA championship tournament, you'd have the top 16 teams in the nation go on to that tournament, right? And a lot of the times there would be the New England area, like the Northeast area, would represent like, I don't know, four or five of those teams.
Mm.
And thankfully, when I graduated, they changed that whole structure. So now the way it works is there's regional NCAA championships. And the winner of the regional championship gets to go on because they wanted to like make it more fair and get some of the other programs who never get to see like NCAA type action involved and get some other teams into that final tournament instead of just the four or five concentrated teams from like certain areas.
Mm.
And so then what ended up happening, so now it's the top 8 teams make it to the final tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one from basically each region, the one that won the regional tournament. Occasionally, another one might squeak its way in from a similar same region, but really now it's like you're diluting the competition. It's really not the best of the best competing against the
Right.
best of the best.
Mm.
It's like, yes, the best team, like the team that wins a region, but like the team that wins from, say, the New England region is probably going to beat the other teams from the other regions very, very easily,
Yeah.
because it's really not the best of the best competing against the best of the best. So I just now, like, I worry that I don't think pickleball should go that route. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with Christian on this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's like all these great tennis players who go to these great programs, they don't get to experience that national tournament at the end of the year. They went to a really good program, and now because of this whole new structure, they don't get to compete in that tournament. Whereas, I chose Amherst because I knew we'd be a top contender and I knew we'd get to go to the NCAAs every year, and like that's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think a lot of like really good players from really good programs are robbed because there's only one winner from the New England region that gets to go on to the final tournament.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Thing,
that's why you draft who you want to draft on your team and, trade who you want to trade, as you get, through your season and closer to the finals and
right. And then you say it's like if your team, if your program wants to get to the NCAA tournament, or if your team wants to get to the finals or the semifinals of the MLP, do the recruiting, do the drafting,
hmm
do the work to get your program to be better.
hmm
Don't just rely on, well, okay, we're going to make it fair now, so you get to go, and then you'll get destroyed. You're like not a great program, but you'll go and you'll get destroyed by the best. So the whole thing is like, if you want to be the best, then, then it might cost money. It's resources. It's
Yeah,
putting, more focus on that as opposed to just saying, well, give my team the best player so we have a chance.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyways.
Well,
Oh,
it'll be a we're coming up on getting closer to the MLP finals. I bought my tickets. Are you going?
is that in New York?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't
But
wait.
it would be fun. Is it there every year?
It was last year it was so
Okay.
fun last year. Well, there was two in New York. There was one in Randall's Island and then there was the finals in Central Park.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was the same this year. I didn't go to Randall's Island though, but we're
Oh,
going
okay.
to Central Park.
Okay. Randall's Island. Yeah. I saved my New York trips for tournaments that I'm actually going to play in.
Yeah.
So I have one coming up in October. So I'll leave my
Nice.
Big Apple trip for then, but anything
Nice.
else? Anything else you wanted to chat about?
I just wanted to end on like the real reason why we play pickleball. I know we talked about it earlier before, but I've been thinking about this for me recently, and I'll say that it's the exercise, I'll say that it's the competition, and I think those are all like byproducts of like the winning, my duper, getting the medals, learning more shots or strategies. But I really do think it comes down to the people that I meet and the connections that I make, and now the community I belong to. I'll say communities because I'll have my local community and then I'll have my, traveling community. Um, so connection and joy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I'm
it's I don't know. I just am hoping that pickleball finds its way. Like, definitely absolutely pickleball needs to keep evolving, and because we also need to keep evolving as people and players and learning. But if we can hold on to that as the sport grows, maybe we'll preserve something, right? Something of what made it so special in the first place,
right. Yeah,
so
you
that
don't
we
want to
don't
lose that
lose
magic.
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and that brings me to the movie The Dink. Did you watch that?
Oh, I haven't. I think I heard from one person that it was terrible, but I no, I
Yeah.
haven't. I'll probably I don't think I'd go to the theaters to see it, but I would
No.
wait for it to, stream and then I'll watch it.
Yeah. I heard okay reviews. It just seems very like slapsticky,
Yeah.
rom-com, like, but very like, I don't know. Um,
I wonder if they consulted with any some of these movies they consult with like former military CIA people like to get
yeah.
all the like I wonder if they consulted or it was just written by writers who have their own notion of what pickleball is versus like, they could have consulted with team owners or professional players or I'd be curious to know the background research on that.
So I know Andy Roddick is in the movie. I mean, he doesn't play pickleball. He's a tennis player, which is interesting.
Okay.
John McEnroe is also in the movie.
Oh, he is. Okay.
But as far as current professional pickleball players, there were none.
No. Hmm.
But some had cameos. I think Beth Bellamy, she's a senior pro player. I think she had like a cameo on there.
Oh, that's fun.
Um, I don't know. I just I I don't know what sport at what point does growing the sport start changing the sport, right? And a movie like The Ding, I don't know. Like awesome, it's great publicity. It's, people who don't play pickleball currently get wind of like this movie, The Dink, and they hear about pickleball. So maybe it's interesting, or getting other people who weren't already interested in pickleball thinking about it. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know how I feel. I'm a little cautiously, what is it? Cautiously optimistic
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
About just, having celebrities involved with pickleball. They bring
Yeah.
attention for sure, and they attract people, like I said, who've never picked up a paddle before, but the attention also then changes the culture. And I believe that the pickleball culture was so not that of any celebrity or,
Yeah.
big
Well,
business. So it's just very
yeah,
different.
that's a good point. Wasn't it Tony Rogue who said episode, I can't remember which episode, but Tony Rogue, better pickleball coach. He
hmm
said something like the way you see pickleball or experience pickleball comes down to like the person who introduces you to it.
hmm
Didn't he say that? Like it you can have a
Yeah,
completely
probably.
different experience if you're introduced by like somebody who's kind of like in the know and a part of the versus somebody who isn't. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be interesting. Like,
Okay.
would somebody stick with pickleball more? Like, if you or I introduced them to it and talked to them about it and explained the community and explained the world of pickleball, or, somebody just seeing the movie The Dink going to get into pickleball and then, really become invested in pickleball because of the movie.
Mm,
I, I,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see if that increases interest. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about your why of pickleball, and that's also something that I am constantly contemplating. And um, I have like about two or three that I've narrowed it down to. But maybe we'll save that for another show. We can talk about your whys, my whys, and um, but we've kind of run out of time, Tosh. So we're reaching the hour here. So I'll leave that
Yes.
as a little a
So
little teaser.
I'll just end it on maybe the goal isn't to keep pickleball exactly the way it was, because every sport deserves to evolve. But the challenge is definitely making sure that we don't lose the reasons why people fell in love with it in the first place, like the community, the accessibility, the laughter on the court, and the feeling that everyone belongs out on the court.
Agreed. Agreed.
So,
Everyone belongs on the court.
yeah,
If you're willing to try, you belong.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
that was fun. Too bad we weren't able to get our guest on today's show, but
Our
uh,
mystery guest will
our
be
mystery
back.
guest, yes, I gave a hint at the beginning of the show, and many
And
people will
maybe
probably
this
be.
bucket hat too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's quite fetching on you.
Very mysterious the
Yes.
lower it goes.
It's so fetch, Tosh. Especially with the Run DMC glasses. Yeah.
I know,
Um,
I know. It's a
oh,
look.
all right. Well, we will be back next week. We have well, in 2 weeks actually, but we're taping next week with a
Yeah.
really incredible guest. So I guess that's it. And I guess we could head
Yeah.
out with our tagline. Remember, you're never too old, or it's never too late to start something new.
Yes.
And look for us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And we are also, of course, on YouTube. If you want to see Natasha's beautiful bucket hat, head over to our YouTube channel to see that and all of our other episodes. So thanks so much. See you next time.
And if you're listening, share this with someone in your pickleball community. Get the word out there about the Real Housewives of Pickleball. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, bye
Bye,
bye.
Neely.
Bye.